Well, thanks for joining me again. This is it's January the 19th, 5:30 at night. We're here in Michigan. I just checked before I came outside, and it's a blustery 8 degrees with a wind coming out of the west from 5 to 20 miles an hour. Right now it's probably 5, but I know we've got gusts up to 20. Anyways, this is my new stove. Well, kind of new. I did a video yesterday with it. Just wound up wick on the inside, but on the bottom I put threaded rivets, and I cut 3 pieces of coat hanger, 80 millimeters in length, to use as a pot stand, because I really wanted to get rid of the hardwood cloth pot stand. But I liked the idea of, on my last video, of how to simmer with 2 lids cut for the bottom. I've got a simmer ring on this one. It's real primitive, but it did work in the house. Nothing very pretty to speak of, but it works. So I'm gonna give this a shot out here. There's a little bit of a trick balancing a Heineken pot on this. You just gotta bend them in just a little bit, but I mean, once it's up there, it seems to be pretty stable. So let me get a stopwatch going. Get my lighter out. My last lighter just died on me, so down to my peanut lighter. I think these are pretty cool. Not very fireproof or wind resistant, but that's lit. Yeah, that's lit. Definitely gotta get that windscreen on there today. Get the stopwatch going. Get my windscreen. Right up there. Cozy it up there a little bit. And we'll, in the house, with this setup, it boiled a pint in 6.5 minutes. Yeah, 6.5 minutes. So I'm guessing it's got to be a little bit longer since it's so cold out here. I did a test earlier with this exact same setup out on my frozen pond with the stove sitting on the ice, and in 10 minutes it still didn't boil. In fact, you can see this pretty good flame coming out of here with that stove sitting directly on the ice. I had nowhere near a flame that size. It was pretty small. It started off big, not even as big as this, and then it really started dropping fast. Still had a flame, but it really dropped fast. So that cold really, I mean the extreme cold, I mean obviously with it sitting on ice, really zaps the heat out of an alcohol stove. So that's definitely true. But we're outside. I'm just on this old birdhouse stand, but it's obviously a little bit of insulation. So you turn the camera back on when we're getting ready to boil, and I can show you how the simmering works, and we'll take it from there. Okay, we're back. We got a boil going. It's been probably can't see that. It's 8 minutes, and it's pretty darn good for it being. It's probably 6 degrees out here by now, with a 20-mile-an-hour wind kicking. But we're at a full boil. So we can keep from steaming up the lens. There we go. pretty good sized fire. Now, let me see if I can't show you how this simmering works. I know the wind's going to really beat this flame around, but I should be able to get a decent idea. Pretty tough to do with gloves on, but just slide this down here like this, where all the notches meet up, like that. And let me put my windscreen back on so it's a little more visible. Flame wise, there's definitely a flame still there, but nowhere near what was on there before. I don't know if I can maybe try to reduce it a little more by sliding this over. This is pretty primitive. My first attempt with these little offsets instead of a pot stand to try to make some kind of a simmering to go with it. I don't know if you'd actually call that a simmering flame, but hey, it's not bad. It's definitely nowhere near what it was before, because that was a huge flame that we had on there before. One thing I wanted to show, how easy it is to put these guys out. Let me pull my simmering off again. And back to a good flame. When you need to take it out, or excuse me, to extinguish it. See if I can hold this off to the side and show you. You can't just blow on it like this, because you just end up fanning the flames. You kind of have to hit it with an explosive puff of air, and that usually does it on the first try. Like that, and it's out. I think it's pretty cool. And with this, so you got your can, you got these little offsets. You can pull these out now for the pot stand. This one's a little stuck here. Probably got some burr on it. Pull the three out like that. Put your lid on it, and you're all set. Don't have that hardware cloth. Stand. 3 tiny pegs for your pot stand. Your hiney pot. Little simmering. And your windscreen. It's a pretty compact setup. I wouldn't mind putting the windscreen in the hiney pot, maybe with the simmering and the pegs for the pot stand. But I was never crazy about putting the stove in my cooking pot. So this fits that just fine, because you can set this in something separate if you're afraid about a leak, because it is just a press fit lid. Easily just let it cool and slip it in a Ziploc bag, and it'd be all set. Well, thanks for watching. Shoot me your comments, any questions, and thanks a lot.